And hello there now, and welcome to the Marathon Stadium at Newcastle, where an absolutely capacity crowd is on hand to see the Newcastle Knights on their way to the 1992 semi-finals take on the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. A desperate day for Manly, but first up the Newcastle side. It's Godden at fullback, then on the wings O'Davis and Brunker, the centres Kemp and Schuster, the halves are Hagan and Rodwell, and the scrummers Glanville at lock, the second row Marquette and Mullane, the front row Sargent and Harrigan, and hooking for the Newcastle side Robbie McCormack. Well, the Eagles of Manly, a similar story to the one we told you on Friday night relating to Penrith. They can really not afford to lose a game, and they're out there now to do battle on probably the stadium not of their choice. Ridge at fullback, and then on the wings you've got Hancock and Iro, Williams, O'Connor centres, Lyons and Tuvey the halves, Hasler at lock, Roberts and Jones second row, and then Mesgrove and Hosking in the front row with Bella out, and David O'Donnell is the hooker. Graham Annesley is the man in charge of this game. Newcastle needing to win 2 matches to cement a position in the semi-finals. Keep in mind, outside of Manly, we've got matches against the Gold Coast, Brisbane and Canberra to come. The Eagles running with the breeze in the first half. Matthew Ridge, he kicks off and gets this game underway. And Newcastle are going to get a huge push from this crowd, as Godden is the first man to touch the ball for the Knights. Wrapped up and put down by Hasler. McCormack goes for one of those customary runs from dummy half and brought down 20 metres out from his own line. Joining me in commentary today, Paul Vorton.
And Manly with this stiff breeze in their back, they should look to use this in the first half and try and keep Newcastle at bay. Good kicking games from O'Connor and Lyons and Ridge.
Out Sargent, met by 3-4 of the Manly side. Forced back to the 32-metre line. Back for Rodwell now to clear, keeping it low into the teeth of the breeze. Ridge back on his own quarterway line, in fact worse than that. And the Newcastle defence, they come down the ground. Brunker makes the tackle with some assistance from Schuster. Hancock goes away. Schuster brings him down. Harrigan came over the top. Now it's David Hosking. Jolting tackle by Paul Marquette. Harrigan and Sargent came in to help. Now it's Cliff Lyons. The breeze pushing this ball right down the ground. It'll find the line. Good kick by Cliff Lyons, finding it 20 metres away from the Newcastle line.
And that'll be Manly's pattern of play the first half. They're not going to try and batter their way through this huge Newcastle pack. Their kicking game will be most instrumental if they are to win this game.
Rodwell works the scrum, and Hagan it is. Takes it out towards the quarterway line where Lyons and Ridge are there waiting for him. Brunker from dummy half giving it to Kemp. Kemp is pulled down and tackled there by John Jones, wearing the number 11. Way now for Glanville, the lock forward, runs into Williams. Manly's defence in the opening minutes. Very strong, plenty of personnel. Good pass away there from Mullane, picking up the winger on the left there, Robbie O'Davis. Now Harrigan puts on some steam, crosses the halfway mark. Discussions here at Newcastle today centred very much on Harrigan, whether or not with that troublesome knee that he would get the game in its entirety. Ridge comes back, 10 metres out from his own line, flung to the ground by Glanville. Tony Iro's turn. He goes up, meets the reception committee. Sargent and Marquette doing the tackling. Cut out pass, second man play, Mestron. Harrigan getting very busy there in defence. Lyons steps around McCormack. He's run into trouble, but he was going to kick on the fourth play anyway. So this time they've got to kick, and Matthew Ridge is the man to do the job. Spiralling down the ground, Brad Godden coming back towards the halfway mark. Brunking to dummy. Monstered by John Jones. Rodwell thinks that he sees an opening, closed by David O'Donnell. This is Mullane, formerly a hooker with the Newcastle club, now holding down one of the second row berths. Glenville! Glenville! He'll score! Oh, how simple! Glenville puts it down, and the crowd, they respond. The Knights leading by 4-0.
Oh, easy as you like for Mark Glanville, the Newcastle side. Their forwards have been running very, very hard, trying to get on top of the Manly side. Here was just a reverse play, and Glanville, simple as you like, beat Lyons, got away from a mess drop, and no one in front of him. Couldn't believe his luck, and away he goes under the posts. Very ordinary defence from the Eagles. Only early in the match, Cliffy Lyons went too high, mess drop high again. You've got to get him around the legs. They didn't do that. And Glanville, he's a great player, Mark Glanville. Newcastle 4, kick to come.
4 tries for Mark Glanville. And really, over the last 2 or 3 years, on a consistency level, he has been Newcastle's best. Schuster from right in front. "12 metres out. Up go the flags, up goes the crowd, and the scoreboard to 6-0 in favour of the Knights." Matthew Ridge restarting for the Manly club. Brunker comes away from his own line. Tuvey, first man down there.
Graham Lowe will be seething at that try. It's not as if Manly was out-positioned or outplayed. Simple, poor defence there. And they need to get their defence right on track against this side. The Knights are running like men possessed.
Lane. Now Harrigan. Listen to the crowd. Harrigan.
Well, he looks fit to me.
He's only got to run on the spot and they start cheering. They love him. McCormack plays the ball. Rodwell to clear. It's probably been the major difference in this Newcastle performance this year compared with last. The main reason, I believe, is that he's taken a lot of pressure off Michael Hagan.
And his kicking game into the breeze, such as that one, will be a big plus for the Knights.
Michael O'Connor plays the ball. Jones is with it, but they couldn't get across the Adelaide. O'Donnell looks for Hosking. Both sides hitting with great vigour in defence. Tuvey. Lyons cuts out Roberts. Floats it for Williams. Williams for Tony Iro. Williams half beckoned him to come in field. He's put a foot into touch now.
Gee, that was well read by the Newcastle defence. They had the overlap Manly. Williams ran into space, but the winger there, beautiful tackle by Robbie O'Davis, put his opposite into touch. That's great footy.
Oh, mistake from the scrum by Hagan. Oh, they tried to do something fancy there at the scrum base, Newcastle. They used Tony Kemp as a decoy runner. I don't know that that's the place on the field to try things as fancy as that. Now they win the scrum against the feed. O'Davis goes down the line. Back inside now for Godden. Godden pulled down, 40 out.
Yeah, Cliffy Lyons covering from the 5'8" spot. Great tackle, Cliffy. Newcastle are well set out to the right.
Hagan for McCormack. McCormack back inside for Rodwell. Godden put down by Tuvey. Good tackle. It had to be made, though. Penalty goes to the Knights. Interfering with the man trying to play the ball, the ruling.
Was a good tackle by Jeff Tuvey. But in the after it, he just held down the Newcastle player in Godden. Godden trying to get up, and Tuvey just held him down too long. Penalty now to the Knights. And they'll be able to attack from within the Manly quarter. Danger time for Manly.
Branca takes the line finder and finds it right on the 22. Minor grades President's Cup to Newcastle. So too the reserve grade. They're looking to make it 3 out of 3. They're leading by 6 points to 0. Godden goes up towards the centre. Pulled down 10 metres from the line. Plays it back for Rodwell. The sweep to McCormack, who gives it to Marquette, and he takes a cruncher from Jones. McCormack now turns it back for Rodwell to wrap it again to the right. Now Hagan. Hagan looking to offload, but Tuvey stamps him out of the game again. Glanville away for Rodwell. Now to McCormack. McCormack steps off the left foot. Hasler, and Jones comes over the top. Hurtful tackle. 5 gone for the Knights. Rodwell. Rodwell holds it back, looks for the long ball. Finds Sargent. He floats out a ball. O'Davis puts it in the air. Play on, says the referee. Up they go. Rodwell nearly came down with it, but it's Manly's ball and play on.
And the Knights just lost their way there with the big cutout pass to the left, but good play by O'Davis. Put the bomb up, but Manly equal to the task. And now they're under pressure, the Eagles. What can they come up with in their own 22? They need some big runs from this man, Ian Roberts. Oh, that's a good tackle.
Marquette's been tackling strong since this game started. Now Mestrov. Penalty against the Newcastle side. Inside the 5. Ridge to take the line finder. 32 out from his own line. 28-10 reserve grade. 26-6 President's Cup. Both to Newcastle as David Hosking is absolutely thumped into the ground by Glanville. Now from O'Donnell, it's gone to Mestrov. Mestrov, he gets it down to the 32-metre line. O'Donnell dummies to Roberts going open side. Tuvey comes the blind. He loses the ball. Newcastle can't accept it, and it's knock on both ways. Scrum to go down. Newcastle's feed. Now McCormack coming off and heading for the blood bin. Glenn Miller goes on. David Mullane will go to hooker, and Glenn Miller will go to second row. Branca. Newcastle knocked backwards, said the referee Annesley. Schuster plays the ball just outside his own 32-metre line. 6-0 in favour of the Knights. Tony Kent. Newcastle. 6 points to 0. An easy try for Glanville. Very early on. Marquette. Laying a dummy half. He knows the craft of hooking and, of course, dummy half play more importantly. Sargent plays it on 5. Back for Rodwell to kick. Keeping it nice and low. Torpedo punt, but very low trajectory. Ridge will bring it back. Out from the 10, runs into Schuster. And together with Hagan and Branca, they wrap him up. Play by Matthew Ridge. Tuvey gives it away for Hancock. Hancock runs into the shoulder of the lane and tries to step out of the tackle. Schuster tries to bring him down. He does that now. This is Mestrov. Marquette low. Over the top goes Sargent. It's as tight as you want it out there, the Newcastle defence. Lyons with a long ball. O'Connor tries to step inside. He gets through. He finds space. But he's wrapped up. Good defence by the fullback, Godden.
And he had Hadler on the inside unmarked, but just didn't see him.
Penalty goes to Manly. Eagles get the penalty.
Beautiful step by Mick O'Connor. He's still got it. He's retiring at the end of the year with that left foot step. Look at Hazel on the inside, unmarked. There was cover, but Desi would have had too much pace for Marquette. And now Manly able to put together. Well, no, they're having a shot for goal. Matthew Ridge, a big breeze at his back. This is 42 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. It'll be a beauty if he gets it.
.43 goals for the year for Matthew Ridge. 42 metres out and 10 metres in from touch. Gale at his back. There it goes. Looks good. It's a goal for Matthew Ridge. But why do we sound surprised? Beautiful kicker of the ball. Newcastle 6, Manly 2 now.
Yeah, hit it nicely and just use that wind to curl it round. He's a genius, Matthew Ridge, an absolute kicking freak.
Yes, an adequate warning has been issued to Newcastle not to give penalties in our own territory. Because Ridge, he'll bang them over from anywhere. Iro plays it on his 22. Mestrop tries to break them. There's just nothing offering there at the moment. Sargent's working tirelessly for Newcastle. Roberts comes across the back of the ruck. Harrigan picks him up. Marquette got hurt in the tackle. O'Donnell finds Lyon. Straight down the centre, turning Godden around. Godden will be back in his own in goal. He may even get a favourable bounce. He does. 22 place kick to restart. There's Marquette getting up after getting hurt.
And Sam Stewart on the sideline. Looks like he'll be coming on for Marquette. He's warming up.
Sam Stewart going on, and the blood bin has been ordered for Paul Marquette.
Number 11, Paul Marquette being taken to the blood bin. And with the trifecta players, the provisional numbers will have to confirm.
Newcastle have now got McCormick and Marquette both in the blood bin.
And the report on McCormack isn't good. He's got a very deep gash, and they're trying to stitch it, but may not be able to, and he may need hospital treatment.
Sargent. Superb effort by the big man against Penrith here a fortnight ago. Glanville tries to burrow his way through the Manly defence. 12 metres short of halfway. Glenn Miller, taken by O'Donnell. Stewart, first touch and he knocks on. Well, a bad blunder there by Stewart.
Yeah, it was obviously a cutout pass that Sammy wasn't supposed to get. Supposed to go to the outside man who was Sargent, and Stewart just got his big hands in the way.
Chance now for men. Tuvin runs across the park. Dummies to Williams. Hagen's got him. By Jove, he was nearly through, the little fella. To the blind they go. Terrible pass to Matthew Ridge. And look at them driving. Ridge will be saying thanks very much for the pass. Hosking. 30 metres out from the line. Third tackle gone for Manly on this set. Lyon sweeps it back for Williams. Across the back of the ruck, and Schuster went for the intercept. Knock on, scrum to go down.
Manly putting on a move a la Newcastle with a cut-out pass and a man coming from the other side of the ruck. A long pass by Williams. If it finds O'Connor out wide, it was danger for Newcastle.
Again, Manly. The scrum feed in opposition territory. To Lions. Penalty against Newcastle. Inside the 5 at the scrum base. Differential penalty, no Matthew Ridge this time.
And the game is starting to change somewhat. Manly now with a bit more possession, looking a lot more dangerous. And they'll be trying to get into this opposition quarter and put some pressure on the Newcastle defensive line.
It's have to be taken by O'Donnell. Hosking takes play number 1. Just inside the 22 as the wide shot shows him. Now for Tuvey. Mestrov, no gain in ground. Met by Harrigan. He smiled as he took him to ground. Jones makes a bit of a dent on the Newcastle line. They're 12 metres out. They're where they want to be. They're in the centre of the ground. Lions run around with Williams, fouled around by Iro. Iro struggling down towards the 10-metre line. He'll play the ball. Back for Matthew Ridge, a dummy half. Out for Cliff Lyons. David O'Donnell's going through a gap. The pass looked forward, but David O'Donnell has been given a try. Well, listen to the crowd. David O'Donnell could not care less. Manly level up at 6 points all.
And as the Cliffy Lyons pass we're looking at, he holds it up, holds it up. Well, that had to be forward, no doubt about it. Annesley right on the spot. Said fair try. Oh, he's passed it forward. O'Donnell didn't even know he was going to get it, but he went through the gap because the defence had held off. Unbelievable decision by Annesley.
Watch it again. Oh, gee, it had to be forward. Well, a controversial moment. Here's the attempted conversion coming up from Matthew Ridge. He makes no mistakes, and the Manly Sea Eagles lead Newcastle by 8 points to 6. Brunker restarts. Ridge asking Iro to go back and meet them. Rodwell first player down there. That's a good chase by the Newcastle side. O'Donnell for Hosking. Stewart wraps him up with Harrigan. Now it's Jones. Gets through the tackle of Miller. Drags another one down to the 32-metre line. O'Donnell away for Tuvey. Now it's Des Hasler with the ball. Ran into a corker tackle there from Glanville. Away from Tuvey for Lyons. Lyons getting the ball, bouncing end on end. It's going to find the touchline. Oh, great kick by Cliffy Lyons, finding the touchline 10 away from the Newcastle goal line. Well, Marquette and McCormick both in the blood bin. Manly come from 6-0 down to lead by 8 points to 6.
And they're gaining confidence with their game. The defence now is coming up a lot quicker. As Darryl Williams on his New Zealand teammate. The ball's lost here. This will be a try.
Oh, Tony Iro couldn't take it.
Well,
Davis to play it.
He just had to take it cleanly. It was try time for the Eagles, and they were away.
Manly really with an opportunity there, a golden opportunity that's gone begging. Played by Malay. Sargent. Manly's defence. It's very solid around the rucks. They're meeting fire with fire. Glanville. Midway 22 halfway, Newcastle's into the ground. The ball's gone to Glenn Miller. Miller gets it out the back. Stewart throws a wild pass. Godden goes across, scoops it off the ground for Rodwell. Rodwell puts the kick in. Ridge now back on his own 32-metre line. Good work, Matthew Rodwell.
He's having a good game. He's tackling forwards and backs as they come to him, and he's their best player at the moment. O'Connor running backwards to go forwards. No ground made there.
O'Donnell sweeping it away to Roberts. Roberts will play the ball. 9 metres on his own side of the halfway. Mestrov. Another strong exhibition of tackling by Malone. Miller over the top. Now for Tooth. Lyons. And away for Iro to put it down.
Well, the crowd's calling for offside. The replay will be interesting. Well, Hasler's in front of Iro there. He's offside, Ray. Was he or not?
I thought he was.
Annesley's having a shocker.
They actually were groaning about a pass earlier from Tuvey to Lyons. So they got a double whammy out of that play. Hagan. Rodwell on the run round. Folding is Godden. Godden's into a hole. Out it goes. But they can't take it. Knock on against Godden. Or O'Davis it is.
And the Newcastle players in the crowd claiming it came off O'Davis's knee. But Godden got into some space. He threw the speculator out wide, just over the top. The defence was cut to shreds. Kemp didn't take it, came off his hand. That's a good decision.
Tuvey. Lyons. Wrestled to the ground by Michael Hagan. 8 points to 6 in favour of Manly. Tuvey wrapped up by Hagan. Now it's Hosking. And the Eagles have got a very difficult run down to the semi-finals. Newcastle today, Brisbane next Friday. And it doesn't get much easier after that either. They play Illawarra in the second last round. They come home with Cronulla, but they've got 3 dead-set semi-finalists in a row as Lyons turns O'Davis around. Hasler and Lyons first down the ground to put him down on his own 22 line. Brunker. Crowd probably up in the area of the high 20,000s. Ground record here was a guesstimate at 33,000 in 1990 against Balmain. Stewart. Now, penalty goes to Manly.
Well, Sam Stewart, he should give himself one here because he's played this ball disgracefully. He was facing the scoreboard when he plays this and didn't touch it with his foot. A shocker.
Can't do that, he's saying.
Just wondering if Rich feels he's got the energy to go for goal here. Yeah, he's called for the sandboy. It's bad discipline there from Stewart, Ray.
Yeah. He was absolutely in fairyland. Sideline to sideline he was facing. That's how strong this breeze is. It's 43 metres out. 20 metres in from touch. Got one from this distance earlier, and again! And again for Matthew Ridge. Well, what's his value to me? 10-6, the Eagles over the Knights. I guess there's a special motivation in this game for Manly. Well, you'd recall Carlaw Park in round one. Manly thought they were dead set dudded that day.
Well, it was claimed that Newcastle scored the winning try off a forward pass. You go back to the try that Manly scored here, that was dead set forward. So maybe justice has been done as David Hosking makes a good run. Manly now just started to get on top.
These two clubs have played 8 times since 1988. They've won 4 apiece. At Newcastle, Manly's only won the 1 game. So 3-1 the count, Newcastle over Manly. Matches played here at Marathon Stadium. Lions putting it down, Godden underneath it nicely. Tries to split between Hasler and Roberts, but no luck. Brunker. Lions going high. Jones underneath. Mullane. Now it's Glanville. His defence still very strong. Both sides hitting in numbers. Sargent. Right on the halfway mark, 5 gone for the Knights. Rodwell. And a penalty goes to Newcastle.
Anderson's finally got the Eagles. The crowd was calling for it for 5 tackles. And he finally had to look right and left. The quick play the ball helped. Manly never onside.
So they'll kick for line here, Newcastle. Brunker taking the line kick and finding it with a very good kick into the breeze. 12 metres out from the Manly line. And now 29,000 Novocastrians start to chant. Harrigan hitting it to the blind side. 5 metres away from the line. Rodwell dumbing half, Brunker's with the ball. No gain on the second. Rodwell now, long ball for Hagan. Around the back for Miller, but Tuvey makes a good tackle. Right in the centre of the park now. They can go either way. Rodwell. Stewart running as a decoy. Hagan folding. Rodwell running back the other way. Shrugs off a would-be tackle by O'Donnell, but they lost plenty of ground. Now they're on the 22 with Hagan. Dancing off the right foot. Finding Godden. Godden finds Rodwell. They must score out on the left. Oh, he's come back inside. Oh, what a tragedy for Newcastle. Glanville, he plays the ball. Hagan, they're on the last. Rodwell kicks it into a Manly player. That's play on. Williams, outside the 22.
Super defence by the Eagles there. Newcastle running left, running right as Iro makes good ground up the middle, but the Manly defence has kept coming up both sides of the ruck. It was a great tackle by Hosking on Glanville, which saved the try.
But just going back, Robbie O'Davis.
Had support on his left, just had to draw and pass. It was try time.
It was try time for sure, Paul. Now Lions. Lions pulled down on the halfway mark. Play back to Ridge. Hasler. Stands in the tackle of Harrigan. Gives it back to O'Donnell, but O'Donnell wishes that he hadn't. Last tackle for the Eagles now. Lions using the breeze. Oh, Robbie O'Davis. Beautiful catch and a great run. Ridge pulls him down. Classical stuff by O'Davis. Hagan. Stewart. Malay. Way. Rodwell. 27 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Sargent gets it away for Harrigan. Now Rodwell gets around Roberts, puts it back for Stewart. Stewart's gone back into the traffic, gets it back. It's with Godden. Godden put down, 12 metres out. 5 gone. Hagan, they need to spread the ball to the left. Long ball, that was the ball required, but a bad pass. Now O'Davis kicks it. Manly comes up with it.
And normally all these cutout passes from Newcastle stick, but they're going in the breeze. The ball's floating around. Kicked right into Glenn Miller.
Michael O'Connor wrapped up by Mullane. Well, that's got to be a penalty. Hosking tackled on the halfway. O'Donnell. Michael O'Connor plays the ball. Oh, well, maybe he ruled that Stewart wasn't standing immediately in front of the man playing the ball and directly in front.
Well, then he should have penalised Stewart.
Players back on the Newcastle 22 line. John Schuster. Oh, good tackle, Mick O'Connor. Brunker. The crowd roaring for the penalty. Now Mullane. To the halfway mark. I tell you what, they don't play them much faster than this, Fatty.
No, it's a great game, very bruising encounter as Rodwell puts the kick in, and a good chase needed by Newcastle. Ridge goes back for the ball.
Oh.
And just went over the... Well left, Matthew Ridge.
Mestrov to play. Hosking. O'Donnell. Something's got to crack. This game has been played at a furious pace. Down in that vital last period of play before half-time. Lions. That should find the line. He's got it going beautiful today, Cliff Lyons. Manly 10, Newcastle 6.
The matchday sponsor here at Marathon Stadium is Tui's, makers of Tui's Blue, Tui's Red, and the new beer, Tui's Classic.
Ridge and Lyons putting the Knights captain on his back. Godden. He's been dangerous every time he's touched the ball, Brad Godden. Now they go to the blind side, a wide one at that, and Glanville is wrapped up out there by Williams and young Mestrov. As if that wasn't enough, the Manly players called for reinforcements. Now Harrigan. Sargent's not having the impact on this game that he had against Penrith. Touch judge coming in.
Yeah, something in the tackle here on Harrigan. The Manly players en masse were in there doing their best. Iro's the man being called out. Tony Iro, the big Kiwi winger. Harrigan took it up at pace. See Iro over the top. And I think as the tackle was being made, Iro gave him a bit of a facial. It doesn't look like there's too much in it.
Penalty goes to Newcastle. We could replay that 1,000 times and I don't think we'd find out what happened. Brunker now takes the line finder and the tapper's coming up just into Manly's area. Sargent. Mullane a dummy half. Still no sign of McCormick or Marquette coming back. Hagan
with Kevin Iro on the touchline for Manly, ready to come on and make his mark on this match.
Mullane makes a good about 10 or 12 metres. They're down on the 32-metre line. And now Hagan folds from right to left. Turns it for Rodwell. Rodwell gets it away from Miller. Miller, he can't find support.
Well, he had support on his left. He stopped. Couldn't believe it.
12 metres out from the line. Can Newcastle do it before half-time? Or will Manly go to the break leading 10 points to 6? Godden it is with the ball. Godden gets it away. Stewart puts it down. Knock on for Stewart. And the scrum will go down.
And Godden, he's had a big game. Godden, he and the halfback Rodwell have been terrific for the Newcastle side, but Sammy Stewart's hands just let him down once again. As Kevin Iro goes on, his brother Tony, the man to be replaced, Darryl Williams, onto the wing.
To the away for line. Oh, Kemp took a risk there. He came up out of the line.
He did take a risk, sprinted up out of the line to grab Cliffy Lyons, and he did so. A great tackle by Kemp.
Kevin Iro plays the ball. Not a bad bloke to bring off the bench, Kevin Iro. Jones, back slam by Sargent.
Manly will be happy going into this half-time break with a 10-6 lead if they can maintain it. The wind at their backs, they've used it judiciously with their kicking game. Newcastle, though, they'll be looking forward to the second half where they can get their kicking game going and try and get some better field position.
Lyons with the big kick, and again he's done it. Another huge expanse of ground off the boot of Cliffy Lyons. The scrum 5 or 6 metres away from the Newcastle line. Enormous kick. Keep in mind that Rodwell will have the opportunity in the second half. For the scrums to Newcastle. Well, Graham, don't start worrying about scrums now.
Well, he's saying you can't put it behind a lock's feet, put it behind the second rollers. That'll do. There you go.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Brunker. Half-time siren about to sound, and Brunker gets a solid tackle from the Manly players. And the siren sounds, so a most entertaining game in the first half. Manly leading the Knights 10 points to 6 as the players file from the ground. We'll be back with the second half after this.
Here we are back at Marathon Stadium with the stats on the screen, time in possession. Newcastle just getting the better of that. Held for 6 tackles, interesting one there. Newcastle have played out their 6 well, mainly because Manly have preferred to kick on the 3rd and 4th tackles. Line breaks, Newcastle made 5 but only scored the 1 try. And the score 10-6. Newcastle now with this breeze behind their backs. Got a bit of work to do.
So the start of the second half. And Brunker sends it down deep for Ridge. And Kevin Iro comes charging back towards his own 22 line. Kevin Iro retained in the run on side for the second half. Manly 4-3 the penalties and 8-4 the scrums to Newcastle, including 1 against the feed. Jones now out towards the 32-metre line. Manly leading by 10-6. Mestro. Breeze not slackening at all, as so often it can do here. In fact, it's probably picked up a bit as Ridge keeps it low and drives it down inside the Newcastle 22. Godden. Found it hard to contain him in the first half, Godden. What a strike tower. Davis. Just wonder how many tackles Newcastle will run this ball out for. That's their third, and Stewart brought down 12 metres from the halfway mark. Glanville, try scorer for Newcastle. David O'Donnell picked up the try for Manly. Now it's Harrigan trying to battle his way through, but they wait for him and put him into the ground on tackle number 5. Way now for Rodwell. Rodwell puts it down, but Williams it is that's coming away with it. Away from his own 22 line. Only half Matthew Ridge. Kevin Iro wants it. Iro across the ground. Brunker's got him. Midway 22, halfway the Manly end of the field. Now it's Hancock. He's into Miller and Brunker. And the ball lost as he was getting up. He'll put a scrum down, referee Annesley.
Mistake by Hancock in that play, the ball. Just as he was getting up to play it. Oh, hand in there by Miller. Should have been a penalty. Referee missed it. Not hard to miss, though. You can't blame him for that one. Very sneaky play from Miller.
Newcastle with the scrum feed. 5 metres into Manly's territory. Very good opportunity for them on this set. Hagan takes them on himself with a straight run. Plays it back, and away it comes for Schuster. Rodwell's gone to dummy half. He's going to use Mullane as a decoy. That he does, and picks up Glanville. Glanville down to the 22 line. Mullane. Hagan. Harrigan goes decoy. Rodwell goes around the back. Then he picks up Godden, but it's a penalty to Manly. Shepherding obstruction ruled by Annesley.
The cutout passes, the decoys just haven't paid off on this occasion. Rodwell, let's look to see it's there. I can't see any obstruction. I see what he was looking at, Stewart running through, but really there was no Manly player who was taken out.
Hancock takes the tap, and big David Hosking takes it out to the 32-metre line. Now it's Mestro. Sargent and Harrigan making the joint tackle. A 2v giving it to Jones. Haven't received the crowd as yet, but it is certainly a full house. Little 2v gets under 2 high tackles. Hancock scoops it up, and there's 6 more remaining. Hancock will play it. 3 metres into Newcastle's area. Roberts. Lane getting up gingerly. Away now for Mestro. Roberts is not well either in the Manly side. Lyons. Tuvey. Iro. Kevin Iro gets it back for Tuvey. And Tuvey pulled down on the Newcastle 22. Manly testing Newcastle out wide. Hosking. 12 metres out. 5 gone. Put it through the hands, I think. It's come away to Lyons. Holds it back. Roberts. Will he get it down? He's short of the line.
If he Lyons delayed that pass again. Question mark, was it forward? Roberts went through the gap, but a beautiful tackle by Godden in the end. Saved the try. Here he is holding it up. It looked okay, that one. Roberts into space. That's a good ball and all tackle. And the defence came to help.
Play by Blank. Glanville. Back slam by Iro. Sargent. It seemed now that Neither Marquette nor McCormick, both lost in the first half to the blood bin early on, will be coming back to compete in this game. Towering kick will go over the dead ball line, I think. No, it's come back. Ridge. 3 metres out from his line. Michael O'Connor, the only man back to receive it. Williams. That's Manly's third, and they're down to the 22 line. Mestrov. Now Hosking.
Well, he's pulled Glenn Miller out for this tackle. Miller's done 2 or 3 high tackles today that Annesley has let go, but he won't let this one go. David Hosking doesn't go down for nothing. More of a bicep right into the mush.
As we watch the replay, Annesley has given the penalty. Quite rightly, a high tackle on David Hosking by Glenn Miller. Trickle of blood coming from the nose there of David Hosking. Ridge with the line find. John Grieve getting ready to come on for Manly. Mestrov. 40 metres out from his own line. Jones. Roberts.
North 15, lead West 2. 18,
Hasler. Ten metres into Newcastle's end. Grieve is on. And David Hosking has come from the field of play. Lyons kicks to the corner, looks for Hancock coming down the ground. Brunker being tested, gets back into the field of play, but now he's put into touch. So, Manly will get the feed. The scrum's only going to be about 7 metres out.
Good tactics by the Eagles. The kick was on, the chase came through. Brunker tried to get out in lane. Good defence by Hancock and Tooby there.
Golden opportunity for Manly. They win the scrum. Tooby, Lyons, O'Connor. Back for Lyons. Now wide for Kevin Iro. Kevin Iro pulled down by Tony Kemp. Played back for Lyons. He goes up the blind side. Tackled 2 metres from the line. Dumbing half is Darryl Williams. Green. He's going to chance it, but pulled down, still about 3 metres out from the line. O'Donnell looks for Jones. Jones really put his body on the line. There's a Newcastle player hurt.
Yeah, and so did Marquette, and he's the one who suffered. Oh, they're both suffering. Big collision there.
Mullane for Newcastle and Jones for Manly. Jones has been ordered to the sin bin. Not to the sin bin, but to the blood bin, my apologies. Reeve comes up to play the ball. Manly just waiting for a replacement.
There's been a change in the Newcastle side. Tony kept the man to come off.
Lyons goes the blind. Kevin Iro. Oh, Darryl Williams couldn't take the final pass.
Oh, nearly try time for the Eagles down that short blind side.
The referee just asking the touch judge, where do we restart this game from? Off whom did it come? And he's taken it out to the 22 for the restart.
Yeah, Darryl Williams just couldn't hold that pass. If he did, it was another Eagle 4-pointer.
Penalty goes to Newcastle. Manly inside the 5.
Matthew Johns is the replacement player on for Tony Kemp. Ian Roberts wondering what the penalty's all about.
Brunker taking the line kick. Manly continuing to lead by 10 points to 6. 6-4 the penalties to Manly. Rodwell taking the tap. Sargent takes it down towards the 22. Newcastle fanned wide and deep. O'Davis. Glanville. Solid defence by Manly, particularly from Roberts and Hasler. Stewart tries to bounce away from the tackle there of Roberts. Plays it back. It goes from Johns to Hagan. Now to Harrigan. Back to Hagan, but he can't handle. Lyons comes away with the ball for Manly.
Newcastle beating themselves here. They have had plenty of opportunities to put some points on the board. As a man down injured, Vicky Lyons, referee's ordered the play the ball to be moved 5 metres. Newcastle just can't hang on to the ball.
Breathe. And work the blind side for Mesgrave, but there's no opportunity there as Jones comes back onto the field. Tony Aro leaves. Hasler runs across the 22 line, turns it inside for Michael O'Connor. He gets into a gap. He's gone to the halfway line, but he's running out of reinforcements. Played by Mike O'Connor. Tuvey gives the pass for Lyons. Lyons for Hasler. Good tackle, Schuster. 5 tackles gone for the Eagles now. Ridge putting it on the boot, and Rodwell going back into his end goal to run it out. Makes it about 18 metres out into the field of play. Glanville. Penalty goes to Newcastle. It's against Manly. Inside the 5, the ruling. Trainers for both sides have been kept more than busy. Plenty of players in the blood bin in this game today. And here goes another, David Millay. Herman goes on in jumper number 16 for Newcastle. Taking play down about 5 metres into Manly's area. Rodwell taking the tap. Away to Hagan, out wider to Harrigan. Gets away from Hasler, but he's not going to get away from Tuvey. The little bloke gets some assistance, and they drive Harrigan back about 10 metres. Well, it's incredible, the strength of young Jeff Tuvey.
You'd think people would learn not to run straight into him, wouldn't you? The man's just a genius tackle.
Let's have a look at it again. Tuvey actually picks a man up twice as big as himself. Then he got some assistance and they drove Harrigan 10 metres. Harrigan has another go. 40 metres out from the Manly line. Sargent, he runs into Tuvey. 5 gone. Wide ball now. Rodwell. Kicks ahead, Brunker's going fast after it, so is Ridge. I think it'll go in touch in goal, it does. Come out to the 22 for the restart. 10-6 in favour of Manly then. Jones. Now a cutout ball on Roberts to Mestre. Back inside for Roberts. Roberts stands and gives it to O'Donnell. He gets it away for Jones. Jones trying to make the yards up the centre. Plays the ball back for O'Donnell. Roberts takes part again. Good injection into the play there by Roberts. Plays it now back for Des Hasler as they get close to the halfway line. Tuvey gives it to Lyons. Lyons throws the dummy. Tries to get away. Puts the ball onto the chest of Jeff Tuvey, but he puts it down behind him. Tuvey to play it. O'Donnell decides to go himself. Tuvey stayed alive after playing the ball, but is pulled down by Sargent. Now for Lyons. And we find that Godden and O'Davis go back, with Godden coming away off his 22, giving it to Herman. Lyons is down the ground with Grieve, and they combine to put Herman on the ground. Godden now. Back for Herman. Herman tries to make the break. 5 metres short of the halfway mark. Glanville. Newcastle starting to make some inroads. Stewart out wide for Hagan. Now for Schuster. Schuster midway between 22 and halfway. Manly's end of the ground. Sargent turns it back and away for Godden. Godden able to pick up the loose ball and still make some ground. 5 gone. Newcastle with Hagan now weighting it into the corner. Another race for the ball, but it's too heavy. And it's going to be a 22-place kick to restart for Manly.
Newcastle's going to have to get their kicking game right. The last 3 kicks they put in have all gone over the dead ball area in attacking situations. Just have to shorten the kicking game up a little. The Manly defence, though, has been very, very good. Newcastle trying to run around, trying to run through the Manly defence, but they're just too good, the Eagles, today. Their defensive line is coming up as one and keeping the Knights at bay.
Grieve makes a good run for Manly. Good 15-metre run by the replacement, John Grieve. Roberts played strongly for Manly today. Play almost to the halfway mark. Tuvey, Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Glenn. Now, Tuvey. Came off the Newcastle players, scooped away by Lyons. Grieve is tackled, and he'll play the ball on 5. Lyons, back for Ridge. Ridge gets a kick in. Not that long, and Godden comes back. Godden running across the park. Oh, gee! Williams on O'Davis.
Super tackle. This is shades of Lewis and Williams in 1989 in the Test match.
Stewart now. Hagan. Sargent. Tuvey is down injured in the back play for Manly. Hagan again. Five gone for Newcastle. Tuvey was asked to come off, I think, by the trainer, but he has persisted. Williams wrapped up 9 metres out from his own line. And Manly are playing this, as I suppose you'd expect them to, like a grand final.
They know a loss today, and that's it for them for 1992. Tuvey's had a wonderful game. Tony Oro, the man, replace him. A very proud club, the Eagles, and they want to be in those semi-finals in 4 weeks' time.
Roberts. On their own quarter-way line. 10-6 Manly leading. O'Donnell out to the 32 on 5. Now spun back for the kick by Ridge. Godden going across towards the centre of the ground. O'Davis may bring it back, he will. Robbie O'Davis. Held by Hancock. Herman. He's been on a short while. He's made a couple of very good runs, though.
And the lane comes back on for Sammy Stewart. Wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle run the ball on the 5th very shortly. There is space out here.
That's Rodwell. Rodwell! Cut down in a good tackle by John Grieve. Godden starting to run from dummy half, and they're making yards. They're getting over the ad line. Rodwell, he weights it down the ground for Brunker. Ridge and Brunker. This is going to be close.
And it went off Ridge. It's gone off Ridge. It'll be a dropout.
That's the first time in the last 4 attempts that it's worked for Newcastle.
Yeah, those tactics have paid off finally. Good chase by Brunker, and that ball just caught Ridge on the knee.
The crowd now willing this Newcastle side on. It must be like coming to Lang Park for an opposition player, Paul.
It is a harrowing experience, especially when you've got the likes of Harrigan and Sargent to keep running into all day.
Godden carries the football back 27 metres out from the Manly line. Rodwell, Glanville. Now it's Harrigan. Either he or Sargent probably have left the imprint on this game that I thought they may have. This is Glanville. John's away for Hagan. They put a blindside play together. Brunker puts it down. Kevin Iroh's away. I don't know that they've got the pace to round him up.
Here comes Schuster.
Schuster comes across the ground. Kevin Iroh, he stands long enough, gets it to Hancock, and Manly have gone in. Manly leading by 14-6. Newcastle looking a chance of scoring, and then all of a sudden the Eagles put it down at the other end of the park.
Well, Brunker's into space here. Beautiful pass. He puts it down. It could have been a Newcastle try. Iroh's away. Schuster's coming from the opposite wing. A great chase by Schuster. Iroh putting in the biggies. The step, he beats Schuster, and then the strength of the man holding that pass up, and Craig Hancock. He's a very good winger. He came from the opposite wing as well to score the try. Iroh, 40, away he goes, striding out, legs are pumping. And Schuster comes over, the right foot step, the swerve, and the power of Iroh to hold that pass up, and Hancock, that's a great try to the Eagles, might get them home.
Matthew Ridge, 3 out of 3 today. 2 of them from very, very wide angles and far out in the first half. This one, 22 out and 10 in. Into the breeze. Coming around, hits the upright. No goal for Matthew Ridge, but Manly, they'd be pleased with the scoreboard. 14-6. Made the comment that it might get them home. Tell you what, if it does get them home, it's going to set up a big match next Friday night. John Schuster sending it down to Ridge, and he's using Tony Iroh, and he's coming fast. Newcastle pull him down on the Manly 22. Crowd figures 24,484. 24,500 here today. Jones. Mestrop's turn. Hazard. No need for anything flash. Nothing fancy in your own half now. Lyons keeping it low, sending it down for Godden. Godden met by Tony Iroh and John Green. Herman.
And that's been the most impressive part of Manly's game today. Their defence, Hasler and Roberts leading the way, both with 23 tackles, but there's been no room for Newcastle to go either up the middle of the ruck or out wide. They're just covering the whole ground, Manly. Although Sargent, that's a better run from him.
Yes, it is a fact that the only time the Manly defence was embarrassed was when Glanville scored the try in the early part of the match. Now from Brunker, it's out to O'Davis. O'Davis kicks for himself. Coming fast is Reg, and Reg cleans it up for Manly. Play by the Kiwi. O'Donnell. Now O'Connor. 157 tackles by Manly, and almost a similar amount by Newcastle. O'Donnell. Wales. Roberts. 14-6 in favour of Manly. Jones. 5 tackles gone for the Eagles. Arrow. Sending it down. And he's found the line. Godden elected to let it go. And it's eventually rolled over that sideline for the scrum on the 22 mark. 14-6 in favour of the Eagles. Godden. Newcastle's going to have to pull out something very special if they're going to win this game, Paul.
Well, Newcastle have got to score twice, but at the moment they're at 6s and 7s trying to get through this Manly defence. Another good tackle from Iro there. I think there is a bit of space out wide, but Newcastle seem reluctant to throw that pill around.
Hagan probing for the opening. Reaching the halfway mark. From Rodwell to Glanville, the run around and back to Rodwell, but Kevin Iro it is this time, with Des Hasler. Manly's defence superb. Down the ground by the reserve grade halfback, Johns.
And that's just a dumb kick, nothing kick. Just decided to hoik it down there for no reason whatsoever. I think Newcastle have got to start maybe looking at their short kicking game, a few tips here and there or grubbers in behind the line to break up this Manly defence.
So Manly will take it out from their own 22. Just simple stuff. Mestrov hit there by Sargent and Mullane. And now Jones. Roberts. Tony Iro. Turning over in the forwards now, Tony Iro. He's played strongly since they took him into there. Hasler. 5 tackles gone for Manly. Time for Cliffy Lyons. Rodwell tried to charge it down. Lyons stepped around him, put the kick in. And Robbie O'Davis comes back with it. Grieve. For a big man, he gets over the ground very quickly, John Grieve. It's an excellent effort by him to get down the ground so quickly. Godden. Jeff Tooby's coming back on for Manly. O'Davis reaches his own quarter. Herman runs towards Hagan, but he takes the tackle of Tooby. Wrapped up over the top by Roberts. Rodwell. This kick going straight to Matthew Ridge. Brunker brings Ridge to a halt about 7 or 8 metres short of the halfway. Darryl Williams ran into the shoulder of Mullane. Mestrov now, right on the halfway mark. Tuvey. Tuvey giving it to Kevin Iro, but Iro losing his footing there, right on the halfway. No gain in ground for Manly. Grieve gets a pass that looked forward from O'Donnell. 5 gone. Lions. Godden moves in very quickly. He had to because Lyons was looking ominous. Lyons is injured in the play. Mullane pulled down now. With Lyons in the back play.
It was a nice little chip by Cliffy. Oh, he's copped an elbow there as he ran through off Godden. Accidental.
Brunker. State of origin for the boy this year. Rodwell and now Glanville.
Well, the Knights aren't going to score a try by playing that way. They're just not getting the right bodies in the right places out there.
Johns puts the little grubber in behind Hancock, but reads it and comes up to be tackled by Schuster on his own 22 line. Hancock. (14-6) in favour of Manly. O'Donnell picked up a try for Manly, controversial as it may have been in the first half, and he's injured now. Second man play for Jones. Kevin Ireland folding in to take a bit of work away from the forwards. He bumps away from one before being wrapped up by Brunker. Williams. Godden has been kept busy for the Knights. Herman now. Johns. Harrigan. Probably seen too little of Paul Harrigan today. He'd be doing it tough by the same token. Sargent getting it back. Was that knocked on? It was by Johns. So the scrum will go down just on the Newcastle side of halfway.
The desperation pass by Sargent, and Johns, in his haste to pick that ball up, the knock on. And Newcastle going nowhere. Manly keep alive in the race for the semis now. And the way they're playing, if they could be a danger to the might of Brisbane. A Brisbane Manly grand final, wouldn't that be a sight?
O'Connor. O'Connor wrapped up and put to ground by Brunker. No gain in ground. In fact, they lost a slice of ground there. Williams away for Kevin Iro. Strong man. And of course, it was that strength that promoted Manly's second try in this half for Craig Hancock. O'Donnell away for Tuvey. Jones. Miller launching himself at Jones. O'Donnell now sweeping it back the other way for Lyons. Lyons finding the line. Only about 18 metres away from the Newcastle line. Manly leading by 14-6. Trying to put something together inside their own 22. That's typical of the desperation in the Newcastle side at the moment. Hasler pulling the Newcastle player down on his own 22. It was Brad Godden. This is Johns. But try as they might, they're not going to bust this Manly side up the middle. Now they promote it wide, and O'Connor cuts Brunker down. Away now for Hagan. Hagan for Johns, but Lyons is all over him with Jones. We're just looking at the tackle counts. Des Hasler, 28 for Manly, Roberts 26. They've been leading the way. And a very high tackle count for Harrigan for Newcastle. Roberts standing and offloading. O'Donnell, Hasler. Hasler trying to break across that halfway mark. Not long left to go on the game. Manly leading by 8. Led by 4 at the break. And now it's from Tuvey away for Lyons. Out wide for Kevin Iro. He gets inside the 32-metre line. Breaks away from a tackle, but Glanville cuts him down. Try-saving tackle by Glanville. Played by Kevin Iro. Away now for Lyons. Torpedo pass out for Hasler. Now on for O'Connor. This is Darryl Williams. He kicks ahead. That's cleaned up by Godden for Newcastle. Godden comes back now, 15 metres from his own line.
Great play by the Eagles. What about the power of Kevin Iro down that left wing as Newcastle throw it wide? They sense a chance out here, but the man of the fence, it's all there. It's all over the place. He's had a good game, Kevin Iro, since he's been on the field.
Schuster. Minor grades repeating. Both going to Newcastle. 28-10 reserves, 26-6 President's Cup. Rodwell. Miller. Manly swarming all over Newcastle. Almost here, Graham Lowe. After this game saying, well, the highlight of the game was our defence. It has been superb. A couple of minor blemishes, but overall it has been too much for Newcastle today. Hancock plays it now. Ridge the only player on side to take it back. Now it's the turn of Kevin Iro. Big and strong. 25 metres out from his own line, Jones comes away. Wrapped up by Sargent. Manly, predictably, playing it very safe, very tight. They're not going to give Newcastle even a sniff of a chance. Mestrov, good work. Lyons wide. Williams wrestled to the ground by Brunker. 5 tackles gone. Lyons again, his kicking game has been impeccable. Godden brings this one back from 25 out from his own line. Lyons the first player down there to bring him down. Hagan, run around with O'Davis, then a wide ball out for Herman. Hagan backs him up. Hagan away from Tuvey, tries to position Schuster, but there's 3 Manly players on Schuster out wide. Rodwell. Sargent galloping over the top of a Manly tackle, but now 3 or 4 of them converge to put him down. Rodwell. Glanville. Now back for Hagan. Well, they've got the numbers if they can promote the football, but Harrigan is put down 15 metres away from the Manly line. Hagan away for Rodwell. Rodwell turns it around the back for Mullane. The pass from Mullane looked a bit dubious. Herman goes inside the 10-metre line. 5 tackles gone for the Knights. Wide to the left they are. Rodwell lets Sargent go. It goes to Hagan. Now to Glanville. Glanville for Brunker. That's a try for mine. Scored by Adrian Brunker out wide. 14 points to 10. The timepiece is well and truly gone for Newcastle today.
Yeah, good try to the Knights. It's come far, far too late. The Eagles are home here. O'Connor came in. He had no choice. He had 3 on 1. He came in trying to cut the movement off, and Brunker did well to get through the Williams tackle. 14-10, they had space out here, Newcastle. Rodwell's had a great game for them. O'Connor racing out of the line. Glanville drew and passed. And Brunker over in the corner. 14-10, it takes your mind back to that David O'Donnell try, the controversial try up here in the box. We all saw it as forward pass from Lyons to him. It was 6 points to Manly. They lead 14-10.
8 tries for the year for Adrian Brunker. John Schuster from the sideline. 24 metres out. Full-time siren has sounded. It's an immaculate kick by Schuster. And Manly has won the ball game by 14 points to 12 in front of 24,500 people at the Marathon Stadium. Manly, they keep their semi-final hopes alive, and next up they play Brisbane on Friday night.